Here I am, face down in the freezing mud of Block 7, hands numb, jabbing a soil thermometer into the ground every 5 minutes. The temperatures drop to 30 degrees Fahrenheit, -1 degree Celsius, and still falling. If I don't activate the overhead sprinklers in the next 30 minutes, the entire 2024 Cabernet Sauvignon crop, over $1,200,000 based on contracts already signed with New York distributors, will turn into black ice dangling from the vines. Me, Emily Harrington, 35 years old, owner, and the only person crazy enough to be crawling through mud in the dead of night at Harrington Vineyard, Napa Valley, California. I was supposed to be in Manhattan this week. International wine conference, rooftop dinners overlooking Central Park, handshakes that could push next year's sales up by half.
But last night, the Weather Underground app turned blood red. Frost advisory, unseasonal Arctic blast. I canceled the first-class ticket, canceled the suite at the Mark, took the red-eye back to San Francisco, and drove straight from the airport to the vineyard in the only work clothes still in my trunk: waterproofed overalls, rubber boots, and an old UC Davis hoodie. The mud clings to my knees like it's trying to drag me into the earth. I'm yelling orders to the crew to fire up the wind machines while pulling sprinkler lines myself. The smell of wet soil, frozen vine leaves, and diesel from the generators mixes into a scent only real winemakers consider the smell of money. Then a sharp pop cracks right by my ear. A champagne cork, high-end, from a $350 bottle of Dom Perignon flies straight into my shoulder and drops into the mud. I look up. From the marble terrace of the main house, the home my ancestors built in 1925, comes laughter, jazz music, the clink of glasses. Crystal chandeliers blaze. About 50 people in tuxedos and gowns stand under Edison string lights and fluttering fresh flowers. In the middle of the crowd, my sister, Sophia Harrington, 28, blonde hair glowing, white sequined dress sparkling like she just stepped off the pages of Vogue, has her arm linked with a tall, classically handsome American man. Next to them is an older couple radiating old money. Mr. and Mrs. Langford, the New York pharmaceutical dynasty with a 10-figure net worth. And Sophia, my sister, the one I haven't spoken to in 6 months, is pointing straight at me, kneeling in the field, covered in mud, hair a mess, rubber boots sunk to the knees, and laughing brightly. Don't even worry about her. That's just our gardener. We keep her around out of pity. Well, let's just say she's very attached to the dirt. The entire terrace erupts in laughter. I see my mother, Eleanor Harrington, standing right behind Sophia, champagne in hand, nodding in agreement. My father, Robert Harrington, lets out a big laugh, clapping Mr. Langford on the shoulder like it's the funniest joke he's ever heard. They know I came home early. They know I'm out here, and they still let my sister turn my house into a stage for this performance. Anger ignites in my chest, hotter than the cold biting my hands and feet. I remember childhood. Sophia was always the princess, Napa County teen beauty queen, cheerleader scholarship, new car on her 16th birthday. While I, the older daughter, had to work the vineyard from age 12 to prove I was worthy of the family legacy. I turned Harrington Vineyard from a small, failing operation into a brand chased by Michelin-starred restaurants. I did it all alone. And now, while I'm on my knees saving the crop, they've turned my house into the backdrop for Sophia's engagement party and introduced me as a charity case. I stand up. Mud streams down my clothes. They think I'm in New York. They think they have the whole weekend to play this charade. They miscalculated. I wipe my hands on my hoodie, mud flaking off in chunks. I'm not going to make a scene right now. No, I'll let them keep digging. I'll let them drink my cellar dry, spend my money, and sign their own sentences. I turn my back on the lights and walk toward the staff path. In my head, one sentence repeats like a heartbeat. Tonight,
This engagement party is about to become a crime scene, and I'm the one holding the handcuffs. My name is Emily Harrington, 35 years old, sole owner and operator of Harrington Vineyard, one of the most sought-after boutique wineries in Napa Valley. People in the industry call me the wine queen, not because of a crown, but because I personally check every cluster of grapes, taste every fermenting tank, and sign every bottle label before it reaches the tables of 3 Michelin star restaurants from San Francisco to Manhattan. I didn't inherit Harrington Vineyard in perfect condition. When my grandfather passed 11 years ago, it was just a pile of bank debt, neglected vines, and a main house that needed a new roof. My parents, Robert and Eleanor Harrington, flat out declared they weren't interested in farming. They preferred city life, yachting on Lake Tahoe, and charity auctions in San Francisco. So the entire legacy was dumped on me, the practical and responsible older daughter. I gave up a PhD fellowship in enology at UC Davis, gave up a high-paying job at a big corporate winery, and dove in to save this land. For 11 years, I slept in the old manager's cottage, ate instant noodles, taught myself how to fix tractors, and knocked on distributors' doors myself. I turned Harrington Vineyard from negative equity into a brand with a 2-year wait list. Last year, a single bottle of my reserve Cabernet sold for $12,000 at the Napa Valley wine auction. I'm the youngest member of the Napa Valley Vintners, on the executive board of the American Society for Enology and Viticulture, and regularly invited to speak at the New York Wine Experience. All with these hands. My days start at 4:30 a.m. before the sun peaks over the Mayacamas Mountains. I drive my old Ford F-150 out to the blocks, checking sugar levels, acidity, pests, soil pressure. I taste at least 50 samples a day, from cold stainless steel tanks to $1,800 French oak barrels. I design the labels myself, write the tasting notes myself, answered 2 a.m. emails from importers in Chicago myself. I have no boyfriend, no vacations, no weekends. Once, a major Texas distributor proposed to me over dinner at the French Laundry. I turned him down because I knew marrying him would mean leaving Napa. I chose the vineyard. Last week, I was supposed to be in Manhattan, the biggest wine conference in North America. 3 days of meetings with major distributors, signing export deals to Asia, and most importantly, the chance to get Harrington Vineyard officially into the cult Cabernet list everyone dreams of. I had booked the Carlisle, prepared my presentation, printed new business cards. Then, Wednesday night, the weather app on my phone turned blood red. Hard freeze warning. Temperatures dropping to 26 degrees Fahrenheit overnight Friday. An unusual Arctic air mass plunging into California, what scientists call a polar vortex shift. If the temperature stays below 28 degrees for more than 3 hours, the entire crop will suffer cell rupture and be lost completely. Damage over $1.2 million, not counting signed contracts. I didn't hesitate. I canceled everything in New York, changed my ticket immediately, and took the overnight flight. The plane landed at 3 a.m. Friday. I drove straight from the airport to the vineyard, changed into work clothes in the parking lot, and was in the field by 4:15. No sleep. Sophia, my sister, is the complete opposite. Sophia is the true Harrington princess. Born beautiful, blonde, blue-eyed, 5'9", former Napa County beauty queen at 18. While I was laboring in the fields, Sophia was shooting bikini photos in Malibu, modeling for small brands, then pivoting to influencer with over 400,000 Instagram followers. Her feed is all cocktails on yachts, Hermes bags, and captions like, "Living my best life." My parents still send her monthly support checks, money they call investing in her future. Me? When Grandpa died, I got the land and the debt. 6 months ago, Sophia texted asking for $15,000 to launch a bikini brand. I refused. She called me a greedy bitch who only cares about money. I blocked her number. We haven't spoken since. Now, while I'm on my knees, hands shaking from cold, trying to save the crop, Sophia is up on my terrace in a stunning gown, arm in arm with her billionaire fiancé, introducing me as a charity case. I smile in the darkness, a cold smile. They picked the wrong person to mess with. I'm bending down to resecure a sprinkler mine when I hear the low, steady rumble of engines, not delivery trucks or harvest tractors. It's the sound of luxury tires on the precisely graded gravel road I personally oversaw last year. 1, 2, then 3 black Cadillac Escalades glide up the hill to the main house. Headlights flick off, doors open, Louboutins and Berlutis step onto the ground. I stand up, mud dripping from my boots. From Block 7, I have a full view of the valley and the main house, Harrington House, built by my great-grandfather in 1925 after he returned from World War I with the American dream of land and freedom. 3 stories, limestone walls, Spanish tile roof, arched colonnades covered in California creeper ivy, a symbol of American heritage that architecture magazines still photograph. Now it's lit up like a Hollywood set. Edison string lights crisscross the terrace, hundreds of candle lanterns flicker on long tables draped in white linen. A 6-piece jazz band in black suits plays The Way You Look Tonight, Sinatra's sweet melody echoing through the valley. Black-vested, white-tied servers glide like ghosts with silver trays of champagne and caviar canapes. I count quickly, at least 50 guests, all cocktail attire, sequined gowns, proper tuxedos, Patek Philippe watches glinting under the lights. On someone's Instagram story, the hashtag Sophia and Alex engaged pops up with a shower of digital confetti. I open my phone, scroll fast. Over 300 people have tagged the location, Harrington Estate, Napa Valley. Someone even posted a photo of the wrought iron gate with the caption, "Dream venue, dream couple." I shut the phone off and shove it into my muddy pocket. I slip through the low fence, skirt along the rose bushes I planted myself in 2018, keeping low so I'm not spotted immediately. Each step makes a squelching sound in the mud. I stop behind the row of Italian cypress trees, about 20 meters from the terrace. Sophia stands center stage in a custom white David bridal gown with a long train sweeping the ground, hair in an elegant updo. She's laughing dramatically, arm linked with Alexander Langford, heir to Langford & Co. Pharmaceuticals in New York, a family on the Forbes 400 for 3 generations. Next to them is his mother, Victoria Langford, silver hair in a chic French bob, wearing a diamond necklace I estimate at 7 figures, raising her champagne glass and saying something that makes the group roar. I hear Sophia's voice clearly, sweet and exaggerated, like she's filming a vlog. And this estate has been in our family for almost a century. My great-grandfather built it after the war. It's basically American history in stone. A lie so smooth, I almost applaud. I look closer. My parents, Robert and Eleanor, stand right behind Sophia, beaming like they're the hosts. My mother in an Oscar de la Renta pearl gown, wearing the South Sea pearl necklace I gave her for her 60th birthday, paid for with my first profitable harvest. My father in a tuxedo, shaking hands with Mr. Langford, mouthing something about future partnerships. Blood rushes to my head. Harrington House isn't theirs. It's mine. I paid off the final bank loan in 2019 and have been the sole owner on title ever since. My parents only have a condo in Palm Springs and some stocks. They know this. Yet they're standing there, letting my sister play Lady of the Manor in front of billionaires. I take a deep breath, the smell of cold earth and vine leaves filling my nose. They don't know I'm home. They think I'm sipping martinis in Manhattan. They've turned my house into an Instagram set, opened my wine, spent my money, and turned me into a punchline. I smile in the darkness. Good. Let them keep going. I'll give them a night to remember. Another sharp pop rings out, closer this time. A second champagne cork flies through the air, hits my left shoulder hard, and rolls into the mud at my boots. The entire terrace suddenly goes quiet. The jazz band stops mid-saxophone note. Only the cold valley wind remains. I look up. 50 pairs of eyes stare at me like I'm some creature that just crawled out of a swamp. I know how I look. Waterproof overalls crusted with dried mud, hair matted to my forehead, face streaked with dirt, still holding the muddy soil thermometer. I'm the swamp monster in every fancy party's nightmare. Sophia speaks first. She puts a hand to her chest, overacting surprise, then turns to Alexander and Victoria Langford with her perfect influencer smile. "Oh my God, don't even worry about her," she says loudly, voice sweet as California rock sugar. "That's just our gardener. We keep her around out of pity, really. She's, well, super attached to the dirt and kind of greedy, always complaining about hours and pay." The terrace bursts into laughter, the sound echoing in the cold air. I see Alexander smile politely, while Victoria, the woman who's been on the cover of Forbes 3 times as the Iron Lady of American Philanthropy, frowns at me like I'm a stain on a white carpet. Then I look at my parents. My mother, Eleanor, nods in agreement, lips curving into the smile I've seen 1,000 times when she defends Sophia from consequences. She adds, loud enough for nearby tables to hear, "Exactly. Poor thing. Her family worked for us for generations. We just can't bring ourselves to let her go. Loyalty, you know." My father, Robert, laughs heartily, slapping Mr. Langford on the back. "She's harmless, just territorial about the vines. We let her think she runs the place. Keeps her happy." Those words hit like a knife to the heart. Loyalty? Her family worked for us? Let her think she runs the place? I'm the one who paid the final banknote in 2019. I'm the one whose name is Soul on the title. I'm the one who stayed up nights so Harrington Vineyard wouldn't be foreclosed. And they stand there, in the house I saved, laughing like I'm hired help kept out of pity. I see Victoria Langford raise one perfect eyebrow, scanning me from head to toe, her gaze cold as if appraising damaged goods. She whispers something to Alexander, and they both chuckle, a small, cutting laugh. I taste blood in my mouth. I've bitten my lip so hard it split without me noticing. They didn't just take my house. They didn't just take my wine. They took my story, turned me into a joke to impress billionaires. I stand there in the vineyard darkness, in my filthy work clothes, feeling rage rise, hot, cold, and completely clear-headed. They want me to be the gardener? Fine. I'll be the gardener until the moment I make them kneel and apologize in this very house. The rage in my chest is so hot, I think I'll explode right there on the terrace. All I have to do is take 10 more steps, yell, "This is my house," and all of Napa Valley will know by morning. Every guest will film it, post to TikTok, #GardnerGate will trend before dessert is served. I'd win. Win instantly, win publicly, win humiliatingly. But then I hear my father's voice in my head, the line he repeated every time family drama flared. "Never air your dirty laundry in public, Emily. Harrington solve things behind closed doors. That's how old money does it." Old money. Even though our family lost most of it a generation ago, he raised me like we were Rockefellers. In America, public scandal is the ultimate sin of the upper class. "If I blow up now, I become the crazy sister," Sophia cries, clings to Mom, and plays victim. "Victoria Langford will decide the Harringtons are trash with a vineyard.
I'll lose any chance at big distributor partnerships. No one wants to do business with family drama on the front page. I take a deep breath. The cold burns my lungs. No, not like this. I'll let them keep performing. I'll let them drink my cellar dry, spend my money, and dig their own graves. I want them trapped in their own lies, no escape. I turn my back on the lights and walk slowly down the dirt path to the staff quarters. Each step squelches in the mud, but no one hears anymore. I melt into the cypress shadows, circle around the outdoor kitchen, and push open the small iron side door, the one only staff and I have keys to. I pull out my phone, hands shaking from cold and fury. The screen lights up under a thin layer of mud. I text Rachel, my best friend from UC Davis, now a wine law specialist in San Francisco. I'm home early. Sophia is throwing her engagement party at my house and just called me the pity case gardener in front of the Langfords. Parents laughed along. WTF? You okay? Not even close, but I'm not exploding yet. Need to play this smart. Good. Don't give them the viral meltdown they can spin. Document everything. I'm on standby if you need legal. Love you. We'll keep you posted. I turn the phone off and shove it back into my muddy pocket. Rachel's message feels like a hug from afar. I'm not completely alone. I push through into the staff corridor, dark, smelling of old coffee and machine oil. Fluorescent lights flicker overhead. I keep the muddy clothes on, don't wipe my face, don't change. I want to stay exactly like this. I want when the confrontation comes, they see exactly where I've been while they toasted and laughed. I want them to remember forever the night they turned me into a punchline, and I'll be the one who laughs last. I push open the door to the manager's office at the end of the staff hallway. The fluorescent light snaps on, illuminating the pale face of Lisa Jenkins, the 25-year-old fresh out of Cornell Hotel School, hired just 3 weeks ago. Lisa is at the iMac, still holding a cold Starbucks cup. Jesus Christ, Miss Harrington! Lisa jumps up, her rolling chair slanting into the wall. I thought you were in New York. I don't answer right away. I walk in, still covered in mud, leaving long black streaks on the oak floor I laid myself in 2020. I stand in front of the desk and look her dead in the eye. Explain the party, Lisa. Right now. Lisa swallows hard, hands trembling as she opens her inbox. I got an email from you 3 days ago. It looked totally legit. You said you were lending the estate to your sister for the weekend, for free, and to coordinate everything. You even said not to disturb you in New York. She turns the monitor toward me. From emily.harringtonestate.com to lisa.jenkins@harringtonvineyard.com. Subject, family event approval, this weekend. Lisa, I'm giving my sister Sophia full use of the property this Friday, Sunday for a private family celebration. Open the house, the terrace, the vintage cellar if needed. Charge everything to the estate account. Do not contact me while in Manhattan. I'll be offline. Emily Harrington. I read it twice, blood pounding when I spot the deliberate typo, missing vineyard in the domain. My real address is emily@harringtonvineyard.com. One letter off, but enough to fool anyone not paying close attention. Sophia created a fake account just for this one email. Show me the invoices, I say, voice like ice. Lisa shakily opens the folder. The list makes me want to slam the desk. Kobe A5 Wagyu tenderloin from Idaho, $4,200. Live Maine lobster, 2 pound each, X48, $3,800. White truffle from Alba, flown in overnight, $2,100. 7-tier wedding cake, custom from Ron Ben Israel Cakes, NYC, $2,500. 20 cases Dom Perignon Vintage 2012, $9,600. Floral installations from Putnam & Putnam, NY, $8,000. Jazz Sextet from SF Jazz Collective, $6,000. Special request, open 1998 through 2006 reserve cellar, guest selection permitted. $85,412.73. I stare at the last line, fingers white-knuckled. They opened the heritage cellar? The triple-locked room only I have keys to. A single bottle of Grandpa's 1998 Reserve Cabernet is listed at $6,200 on Wine Searcher. I look back at Lisa. You opened the vintage cellar? The email said guest selection permitted. Mrs. Harrington, your mom, confirmed it in person yesterday. I almost laugh. My mother. I pull out my phone, open the security camera app, rewind yesterday's hallway footage. There it is in crystal clear video. My mother in a Lily Pulitzer dress, standing next to Sophia, telling Lisa, "Just do whatever Sophia needs, honey. Emily won't mind. Family first." Then I access Mom's iMessage from the family iCloud. I still have access because I set up her account years ago. Mom, Wednesday, 11:42 p.m. Sent the fake email from the new account. Lisa totally bought it. Mom, Sophia. Good girl. Your sister will forgive us. She always does. We're family. Just don't drink the 98. Save it for the toast. I stand frozen, reading "she always does" over and over. They didn't just know. They planned it together. I set the phone down, mud flaking from my fingers onto the keyboard. Lisa looks at me, eyes welling up. "I'm so sorry, Miss Harrington. I should have called you." "Not your fault," I say, voice flat and scary even to me. "From now on, you answer to me and only me. Lock this office. Don't talk to anyone outside. If Sophia comes looking, you're in the bathroom." Lisa nods frantically. I open the drawer, pull out the square card reader we use for private tastings. I slip it into my muddy pocket. I keep the muddy clothes on. I want them. I want when I walk into that dining room, they see exactly where I've been while they toasted and laughed. They turned my house into a stage. Now, I'll turn their party into a courtroom. I head down to the basement, push open the steel door with the code lock. The security room is dark except for the glow of 12 wall-mounted monitors. Mike Thompson, my head of security for 8 years, ex-Marine with close-cropped gray hair, sits at the console with a cold cup of black coffee. "Boss?" Mike stands up the second he sees me covered in mud. "What the hell is going on up there?" "Lock every gate. No one in, no one out," I say, dropping into the old leather chair. We're watching the show. Mike doesn't ask questions. He nods, keys the intercom, and orders the gate team. I pull my chair closer. The main monitor shows a wide shot of the terrace. The image is sharp enough to count the fake lashes on Sophia. For the next 4 hours, I sit like a statue, dried mud flaking off onto the floor. Mike brings me a bottle of water. I drink without taking my eyes off the screens. Sophia is center stage. She drags Alexander and Victoria to the middle of the terrace, holds up her phone for an Instagram Live. "Guys, welcome to Harrington Estate, my family's legacy since 1925, she squeals, doing a 360 spin. "After the wedding, Alex and I are thinking of making this our second home, maybe even open a boutique hotel. Thoughts?" Victoria smiles thinly, raising her champagne. "We'd love to invest. $4 million for a minority stake sounds reasonable, doesn't it, darling?" Alexander nods. "Absolutely. Napa is the new Hamptons." I grip the armrests so hard my knuckles go white. $4 million for something they don't own an inch of. I switch to the main living room camera. My parents stand by the mobile bar, laughing with an older couple. Mom has her arm around Sophia, whispering something that makes them both giggle. Dad takes a photo with Mr. Langford. Mike pulls the social feed on the side monitor. Caption right there. "Future in-laws sealing the deal. Hashtag Sophia and Alex engaged. Harrington Estate at Robert.Harrington at Eleanor Harrington." They tagged my parents, like this is shared family property. I switch the audio to the hidden living room mic. Mom's voice comes through crystal clear. Emily will come around. She always does. We just have to make her see this is best for everyone. Sophia deserves this. Dad chimes in. Besides, she's too busy with the dirt. Let the girls handle the pretty parts. My chest feels crushed. I've forgiven them so many times before. When Sophia wrecked her new car, when she borrowed vineyard funds for Coachella, when they let her use my house as a photo shoot backdrop without asking. Every time I told myself, family first. The classic American line my parents drilled into me, blood is thicker than water. But this time, they didn't just take money. They took my story, took 11 years of my sweat, and turned it into a prop to sell to someone else. Mike glances at me, voice low. You want me to shut it down now? Not yet. I point to the screen where a server is opening a 2002 Reserve Cabernet, the very last bottle Grandpa left me. Let them finish the bottle. Let them finish the crime. Something inside me shatters, but at the same time hardens. Family first is now just 4 empty words. They chose sides. Now it's my turn. The wall clock in the security room reads 7:12 p.m. 4 hours and 17 minutes since the first champagne cork hit my shoulder. I stand up, dried mud raining onto the floor like hail. It's time, I say. Mike nods, keys the radio. Team, stand by at all exits. Wait for my signal. I don't change clothes. I don't wash my face. I keep the crusted overalls, rubber boots still wet with mud, hair matted to my cheeks. I want them to see exactly where I've been while they toasted and laughed. I walk down the staff corridor, through the narrow passage, and stop in front of the double doors to the main dining room. The square reader weighs heavy in my pocket. I take a deep breath and shove both doors open hard. The doors burst inward. I step inside like a mud-covered storm. The sound of dried mud hitting the polished white marble floor echoes as I walk. Every step leaves a long black streak on the white carpet Sophia had specially laid for the party. The crystal chandelier blazes, reflecting off gowns, diamonds, champagne flutes, and me, a dark, filthy figure in the light. The entire room goes dead silent. The jazz band stops mid-beat. Someone's champagne glass slips and shatters. A woman at the nearest table gasps, hand over mouth like she's seen a ghost. I don't look at anyone else. I walk straight to the head table where Sophia, Alexander, and Victoria sit. The power table, the fake host's table. Mud crunches and thumps with every step. Thump, crunch, thump, crunch. Sophia sees me first. She jumps up, chair toppling backward. You're supposed to be in New York. I don't answer. I reach out, scoop a handful of dried mud from my sleeve, and let it fall onto the white tablecloth in front of them. Then I pick up the open bottle on the table, 2002 Reserve Cabernet, Grandpa's very last bottle. Mike, I call loudly without turning. The doors open again. Mike steps in, 2 uniformed security guards behind him, arms crossed. No signed release for this bottle, I say, voice carrying through the room. Market value, $6,800. And I see 3 more empties on the sideboard. That's already over 20 grand in stolen property. I turn to Sophia, smiling coldly. Under California Penal Code 487, grand theft over $950 is a felony, but we passed that line about 3 bottles ago. I pull out the square reader, mud falling from my hand onto the white cloth. Wire fraud, impersonating me via email to misappropriate property, federal crime. Criminal trespass, none of you are allowed here. Grand larceny, $85,412.73 charged to my account.
I place the reader in the center of the table, right on the white linen, leaving a perfect muddy handprint. You have two choices, Sophia. Option 1, pay the $85,412.73 right now. Option 2, I call Napa County Sheriff. They're 5 minutes out. You leave in cuffs in that dress. I look straight into my sister's eyes. Your call. The room is so quiet, I can hear the dried mud falling from my clothes to the floor, piece by piece. I place the square reader right in the middle of the table on the Italian white linen, leaving a stark black muddy handprint. Swipe, I say, voice even. $85,412.73 right now. Sophia stares at me like I just spoke Swahili. She blinks rapidly, mascara starting to run. You're joking. Try me. She pulls out her white Hermes clutch with shaking hands, pulls out a platinum card I assume Alexander just gave her. She swipes. The machine beeps twice, then flashes red. Declined. Sophia goes white. That's impossible. It has no limit. I don't move. Try again. She swipes a second time. Still declined. Alexander stands, trying to sound like a man. Emily, there has to be a misunderstanding. We can figure this out like adults. Adults pay their bills, I reply, eyes still on Sophia. Another card? Sophia spins toward our mother. Eleanor is 2 tables away, face ashen, hand on her chest like she's having a heart attack. Mom, your card, please. Mom stumbles forward, pulls out the black Amex my parents always brag about as never declined. Sophia practically snatches it, swipes frantically. Declined. $85,000 is apparently above your family limit, I say, tone light like I'm reading the weather. Funny how that works. Dad jumps in, voice hoarse from wine and panic. Emily, honey, for God's sake, this is your sister's engagement party. For family's sake, can't we just? Family's sake? I cut him off, voice rising for the first time. You stood right there and laughed when she called me the pity case gardener. You told the Langfords I'm just the help. You knew about the fake email. You told her I'd forgive everything because family first. So no, Robert, tonight family's sake doesn't get you a free pass. Mom starts crying, mascara running in 2 black streaks. Sweetheart, we didn't mean. We just wanted Sophia to have one perfect night. One perfect night on my dime, I say. One perfect night stealing my legacy. Alexander tries again, low, upper-class problem-solver voice. Look, Emily, I'll write you a check tomorrow, payment plan, whatever you need. I turn to him. Stolen goods don't come with payment plans, Alex. California doesn't do layaway for felonies. Victoria Langford, silent until now, finally speaks. Her voice is cold as a New England winter. Enough. She sets her champagne flute down, the crystal rings sharply in the silent room. She looks at me, not Sophia, not Alexander, me, from my muddy boots to my filthy but unbowed face. Victoria pulls a black card from her clutch, the Centurion Amex only a few thousand people in the world have. She places it on the table next to my muddy print. Swipe it, she says, voice quiet but carrying to every corner. $85,412.73. Sophia's mouth falls open, eyes lighting up like she's been saved. Oh my God, thank you, Victoria. I knew you... Shut your mouth, Victoria snaps without looking at her future daughter-in-law. She keeps her eyes on me. I'm not paying for her. I'm paying to keep this quiet. There's a difference. Do we understand each other, Miss Harrington? I take the black card and swipe. The machine lets out one long beep. Approved. I hand her the receipt. Victoria folds it perfectly and slips it into her clutch without glancing at Sophia. The room stays silent.
only the sound of dried mud falling from my clothes, piece by piece. Victoria Langford holds the receipt, folds it perfectly, and tucks it away like a charity donation. She still doesn't look at Sophia. Her eyes are only on me. My lawyer lands at Napa County Airport at 8 a.m. "Tomorrow," she says, tone like she's ordering coffee. "You will be in the library at 9 sharp, Sophia. You will sign every document she puts in front of you. No questions, no negotiations, no phone calls to mommy or daddy or Instagram. Understood?" Sophia stands frozen, mouth open, tears streaking mascara down her cheeks. She nods like a broken bobblehead. Victoria continues, still looking at me. Post-nuptial agreement, ironclad. Every purchase over $500 requires my pre-approval through an app I control. Every credit card, every Venmo, every Instagram shop link, monitored. Clothing allowance, personal spending money, charity donations, all capped. You will be a Langford wife. You will look perfect. You will behave perfectly. And you will remember every single day who paid for tonight. She turns to Alexander, voice sharp as a blade. "And you, darling, will learn that marrying for beauty without background checks is expensive." Alexander opens his mouth, but his mother's look silences him. Victoria finally looks at Sophia, the first time since paying. "Welcome to the family, dear. Consider yourself managed." Then she turns back to me and extends her hand, a real handshake. I glance at my filthy, muddy hand, then at her, and smile faintly. I don't shake when I'm this filthy. Victoria lets out a short, genuine laugh. Smart woman. She pulls a glossy black business card from her bag and places it on the table. My direct line, "Your wine was exceptional. We'll talk business, properly." I nod. We understand each other. I turn to my parents. They're in the corner, Mom clinging to Dad's arm, faces ghost white. I signal Mike. He steps forward, gently but firmly placing a hand on Dad's shoulder. "Mr. and Mrs. Harrington are leaving now," Mike says. "Permanently banned from the property until further notice." Mom starts sobbing. "Emily, please." I step close enough that only they can hear. "You have one chance. Cut Sophia off completely. No more monthly transfers. No more condo in Palm Springs paid by my harvest money. No more family first excuses. Do that, and in 6 months, we'll sit down like adults. If not," I look Mom dead in the eye, "you'll never set foot on this land again. Your choice." Dad nods, eyes red. "We'll do it, I swear." I don't reply. I turn and walk out of the dining room, mud still falling with every step. As the doors close behind me, I hear applause erupt from the room. Not polite, but the kind you give after watching a top-tier performance. Excited chatter rises like a beehive. I pull out my phone and open Instagram. #GardnerGate is already trending in California. Video of me walking in, mud falling with every step, has 400,000 views in 10 minutes. The top caption, "The real owner just served revenge colder than Napa frost." Rachel texts, "Rachel, you okay, queen?" Emily, never better. I stand on the porch, Napa night wind blowing through, carrying the smell of earth and vines. I look up at Harrington House blazing with light. My house, my legacy. No one gets to take it from me again. I smile, the first real smile of the night. The mud on me isn't humiliation. It's a medal of honor. And I just won the first battle. 6 months later, I'm standing in Block 7 on a late October afternoon, Napa sunshine golden as honey. The 2024 Cabernet Sauvignon clusters hang heavy, deep purple-black, so ripe they'd burst at a touch. We harvested 2 weeks early thanks to the sprinklers and wind machines I activated that night. Result, $600,000 in reserve revenue alone, plus an exclusive contract with Langford Private Sellers that Victoria signed the following week. She kept her word. We do business properly. Harrington Vineyard is now on a 2-year wait list for every Michelin-starred restaurant from coast to coast. I opened a new tasting room, hired 10 full-time staff, and for the first time in my life have a real assistant instead of doing everything from dawn to midnight. As for Sophia, she still posts regularly on Instagram. Perfect smile, couture dresses, backdrops of Upper East Side penthouses or Pebble Beach golf courses. Hashtags Langford Life, hashtag blessed wife goals. 800,000 followers still believe she's the Napa Cinderella who landed a prince.
But I know the truth from Rachel and a few remaining mutual friends. Victoria installed financial monitoring apps on every device. Any purchase over $500 requires a photo of the receipt sent to her. Sophia once tried sneaking a Birkin. Every account locked instantly. She lives in a gilded cage. Gorgeous, but a cage nonetheless. My parents completely cut Sophia off financially in November last year. They sold the Palm Springs condo, moved back to their old house in Sacramento, and are doing weekly family therapy with a counselor in Roseville. Classic American style, leather sofa, tears, and I feel statements. Mom texts every Sunday, "We're working on ourselves, honey. We miss you." I reply briefly, "Keep working." I'm not ready for full forgiveness, but the door isn't bolted forever. Maybe someday. And me? I've never been stronger.
Tonight, I carry a bottle of 2019 Reserve Cabernet, the first vintage I made from A to Z, out to the main terrace, the same spot where Sophia once stood, calling me the pitiful gardener. I pour a glass. The wine glows ruby red in the Napa sunset. I raise it to the valley, to the vines that saved me and that I saved in return. The mud that night wasn't humiliation. It was the badge of honor of a self-made American, working with your own hands, protecting what you built, and never letting anyone, even blood, steal the American dream I paid for with 11 years of sweat. Mom still asks in every long text, was it worth it? Trading your relationship with your sister, with your parents, with so-called family harmony? My answer is simple. Look at my vineyard. Look at the bumper crop. Look at the revenue, the freedom, the fact I stand here debt-free. No parasites, no one controlling me.
Yeah, worth it for freedom. Now I'm asking you because I really want to know. Option A, did I go too far? Should I have changed into something nice, pulled Sophia aside privately, kept family dignity like old money does? Or was the mud invasion the perfect power move, the only way to prove real work is worth more than any glossy lie? And the final question, would you have called the sheriff and let Sophia face felony charges, or let Karma and Victoria Langford handle the rest? I read every comment. After 6 months of family drama, I need some outside perspective. As for me, I'm standing here among my vines under a fiery Napa sky, glass of wine in hand, smiling. That night, the mud didn't humiliate me. It made me the real queen. And damn, it feels good to be queen.